Hi and welcome to my latest video. This is all about what to do if your manifestation isn't coming through as quickly as you want it to, i.e. now. I have a fair amount of experience of this, as I'm sure everyone does who's ever tried to actively manifest something. So what I mean by that, if you're new to my channel, is actively bringing something into the physical reality that you desire. Because, frankly, we often want things to happen immediately, and most of the time it takes a little bit longer for just energetically things to align and for what we want to happen. So the reason why I'm filming this today is it's really top of mind for me, and I wanted to share a little bit about my current manifestation, the biggest thing I've ever manifested that is in the works. So I haven't yet done this before people get too excited, but this is to get pregnant. So that is kind of what I'm actively manifesting, and that brought this really top of mind for me, because as anyone knows, if you've ever tried to conceive, it is kind of a monthly-ish process of getting your hopes up and then potentially having your hopes squashed when your period arrives. And so if you're not familiar with this, I wasn't either, and that's totally okay too, but I wanted to kind of share some of what I'm experiencing in manifesting this, because it's the biggest thing I've ever manifested. I know it's something that many people go through, of all genders, and especially those with baby making parts. It is a real process because so much is happening inside and so much is happening energetically, and there's a lot going on. And so for me, this month has been probably the most challenging in some ways, and also hopeful, because I've had a lot of symptoms that could be pregnancy symptoms, and also could be completely not related, because many people with uteruses and ovaries know that with our monthly cycle comes lots of different symptoms anyway, and it can really fluctuate with stress or with diet or with a million different factors. And so, this month I've had all sorts of symptoms. And if you're not interested in hearing about my conception journey so far, by the way, I'm going to put in the notes where I stop talking about it, because I know it's just not for everyone. And also, if you're trying to manifest this too, you might not want to hear about my experience. So totally support you in that. Have a look in the notes and you can see where to kind of skip to the next bit, which is just more about general advice for when you want to manifest something and it's not coming through. But wanted to give a little update on this month. I've had a lot of symptoms, really dizzy, some bleeding, like when I'm not expecting it, like very minor, and very sore chest and breasts, and just the dizziness has honestly been the biggest one. I'm feeling a little sick, a few headaches. So there's just been so many symptoms. And obviously if you check on the internet, every single one is a pregnancy symptom, but then there's also someone else that says it's way too early to get symptoms, it's probably not. And so, if you could track my hopes and dreams, it's I'm pregnant. Then it's no, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And so I've been thinking about this from a manifestation standpoint in particular, and, really trying to do what supports me in this moment, and also what supports the manifestation in the long run too. And, I've noticed that when something I want, like trying to get pregnant, isn't coming through immediately, I can really shift to a place of control. And that is what is kind of my limiting belief or my saboteur behavior. So what I mean by that, and I just posted about this on Instagram, like each of us, I think, has a default kind of way of being, or a few different ones, where if we're under stress or under pressure, we kind of go to that place. And that place is not our true, authentic being, which I think for all of us is one of trust and centeredness and groundedness and hope, but it's more like that under pressure place. And so, yeah, for me, that is very much the controller is the saboteur, and the controller, part of me wants to fix everything, wants to really track everything and like make it happen and force it to happen. And I can draw a parallel with how I'm feeling about pregnancy and trying to conceive with when I was trying to get my puppy, really trying to manifest a rescue puppy. And I was just every 5 minutes, like refreshing all the different dog home web pages and, all the rest of it. And I've talked about this before. And again, like my controller saboteur was really coming out there. And whenever I kind of see this pattern happening, I know that actually I'm going to be blocking the manifestation from coming through. And that is really just something I've learned from myself of watching my own behavior. And also, I do firmly believe that when I'm feeling good, that's when I'm going to manifest, not from when I'm feeling in a lack mentality or a fearful mentality. And so I wanted to share like that's where I'm at right now. And I took a few notes this morning when I woke up. I came up with like a few kind of tips for anyone who's trying to manifest anything right now, whether it's trying to get pregnant, buying a house, getting a pay rise, getting more money, finding a partner, anything at all. But you're getting to a place where it's like not coming through and you're really wishing it was right now. And so I've got maybe like 6 different things. They kind of merged together. This is very fresh because it's like so top of mind for me. So the first thing I wrote down was feel your feelings. And this is kind of a golden rule for anything really in manifestation, as I talk about it, is we're not here to shut down feelings. So if, you're really disappointed and saddened that what you wanted isn't here right now, whatever it is, allow those feelings to come through. If you're frustrated, like allow those feelings. So the first step is feeling your feelings. That's my first tip. And the reason why this is so important is that those feelings are our guidance system. A very basic principle of mindfulness. Our emotions are guiding us. And I love this saying, contrast creates clarity. And what I mean by that is if I'm not pregnant and I am really upset about it, that is bringing me more in line with what it is I do want. And maybe that's the same for you. Like maybe you're trying to buy a house and you put an offer in and you didn't get the house. Allow that contrast to really show you what it is that you do want. Contrast creates clarity. That leads me on to the next tip, which is asking myself, what is it that's important about this thing coming through now? Because often when we're upset that manifestation hasn't come through, there's this sense of immediacy, like I want to be pregnant now. And so I ask myself, what's important to me about being pregnant this month and not next month or in 6 months or a year? And when I ask myself that, what comes up is that underlying block or limiting belief that I'm worried if it doesn't happen now, then I can never get pregnant. Or I'm worried if we don't get this house, we're never going to get a house. Or if we don't get this puppy, we're never going to get a puppy. I think, for me, this is very, very top of mind of understanding what it is about now. Because if it is a fear there, then that fear is going to be blocking this actually coming through. Because if I'm fearful that this is never going to happen, then I'm not really in trust. And if I'm not in trust, then I'm not going to be energetically aligned with what I want. Subconsciously, I'm going to be aligning my energy with not being pregnant or not ever being able to get pregnant. And so I think that question, what's important about now, can be really enlightening in it uncovering our limiting beliefs. So those saboteurs. So, maybe yours isn't fear, maybe it's something completely different, but then asking yourself, okay, what saboteur or what limiting belief is driving that? And then once you know what that saboteur is, so for me, it's the really, this limiting belief is this fear. So the controlling saboteur is trying to hide or sort of save me from this deep-rooted fear that I can't get pregnant. Allowing that fear to be there, acknowledging the fear, and just spending some time with it so that I'm no longer kind of pushing it aside. So figuring that out is, I think, really important. And then asking myself, what might I not know that the universe does? And so I love this question because so many things that I've wanted to manifest that didn't come through at the time I wanted them, but maybe came through a few weeks or months later. In hindsight, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm so glad it didn't come through then. And I think we often think we know what's best for ourselves. And my belief is that actually there is, a higher plan, and that I'm actually not privy to really understanding all the different things that are at play here. And so I say to myself, okay, what does the universe know that I don't know? And kind of having some fun with that and saying, okay, well, maybe the universe knows that if I get pregnant this month, then my baby would be born at a time when, my family wouldn't be able to travel here. Or maybe, in a few more months, if I got pregnant then, the baby would have the same birthday as me, and that would be so beautiful. Or who knows? It could be anything. And the job here is not for us to try and figure out what it is. It's just to expand into this place of possibility. And again, that's kind of counteracting my fear of it's never going to happen. But it's going to happen, but I'm not in control of when, because I don't actually know when is best for me. And so now moving into a place of thinking about how I would be feeling if the thing I wanted to manifest had come through. So what would I be feeling if I have gotten the call that puppy was ready to be adopted by us, when I was desperately waiting for our puppy, and try and bring that energy into the now. So rather than kind of sitting in the dwelling and sitting too long in the sadness, allowing that to move through, and then when ready, aligning myself back with the energy of what I want to call in. So for me, for having a baby, it's love and family and nourishment and vitality. And so aligning myself as much as I can with that energy to help me get back in vibrational alignment with what it is I want. And just asking myself that question of how would I be feeling if my manifestation had come through allows me to see what that gap is. And again, not forcing, but just allowing myself to kind of ease back into that place of alignment. And then the final thing that I wrote down was just gratitude. Gratitude, what would it feel like to be so grateful to be in a position where you're looking to buy a house or looking to bring in whatever it is you're bringing in? Or for me, so much gratitude that I have a body where it is possible to get pregnant and that we're trying. And that's just so exciting, and just really coming from a place of love and gratitude for myself and my partner and my family and, our future extended family. And, gratitude is so important because vibrationally, that's one of the strongest vibrations that we can create and be in alignment with. And gratitude, I think, always helps shift any energy that's coming from that place of limiting belief or saboteur. And it is definitely a process, and there's no need to rush to go through all of that. But I hope that it can be supportive, because it's definitely supporting me in those moments where yeah, of course, I wish things were a little different, but I can still stay in trust that it's going to happen. So I hope that this was somehow useful for you, and whatever it is that you're currently manifesting, would love to hear any thoughts you have on this, anything that's not clear, anything you want more follow up on. Feel free to write me a comment or get in touch on Instagram at Mindfully Laura about what you're manifesting, because nothing makes me more excited than just hearing from you and supporting you in your manifestation. Okay, see you soon. Bye.